Alright everyone, hello. My name is John Cedillos. I'm going to be going through a little bit of troubleshooting today, looking at IP addresses and how to form a connection on layer 3 between routers. First thing I'm going to do is assign each router its own little name. So let's forget this real quick. I actually played around with it earlier. I'm already in privilege mode. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and exit and just go through how I got to that. So right now this is a basic layout. It's router. This is, in this case, this router 0. As you can see here, it is router 0. So we're gonna assign it the actual interface itself. So I'm gonna go into global configuration mode. On no particular interface at the moment. Right now we're just giving the host name to this router 0. Okay, router 0 there. Easy enough. We're gonna do the same thing for router 1. So same thing. Just go ahead. Like I said, I was playing around with it before, but gonna give this router a name. So global config mode, host name, router 1. Okay. Same thing here for router 2. Host name, router 2. Okay, and then on router 3, CLI command. Alright, enable, global config, host name, router 3. Okay, easy enough. So let's see if 192.168.10.1 is assigned correctly to its correct interface. Let's see. Exit, enable, config, no, show interface brief, just to see what is being assigned to what. So show IP interface brief. Okay, so we see here, what I like to do is take a notepad and then just write down what's assigned to what. So I'm gonna do that real quick. It's a blank sheet of paper. So right here on my router 0, on gig 0-0, 0, I have 192.168.10.5. But the IP address that they want is the 192.168.10.1. Okay, so two things we're gonna look at here. We're gonna go to config T, now to show interface gig 0-0-0. Okay. So two things I see here is that I do have a subnet mask that I would be able to ping 192.168.10.2. But I want to use, I really don't need all that space. I really only need 2 usable addresses to form a connection. So I'm going to change that subnet mask from /24 to a /30. How would I do that? Well, /30 and the usable address is going to be 1 and 2. What I mean is 1 by 2 is the slash digits on the octet, 1 and 2. So reason being is that 192.168.10.0 is the network address and 192.168.10.3 is the broadcast address before going to the next network. So config terminal interface gigabit 0-0-0. So first I'm going to do a no IP address to remove that address of 192.168.10.5. And then the subnet mask was 255.255.255.0. It was to the 24. Okay. And then I'm just going to go up and say IP address. Okay. Dot 1. And then instead of 255.255.255.255.0, I'm going to go ahead and take that off. And this new subnet mask is going to be dot 252. Okay, no shut. There. And we're going to exit and just go see that it was assigned. Yep, there we go. So that should be okay. And then let's see. I'm going to end here and just show our show IP interface brief. So on the gig 00.192.168.10.2, let's see. Show interface gig 0-0-0. So this right here is to the 22. So it could still be, well, it shouldn't, but let's see. Ping 192.168.10.1. It probably is because it's directly connected. Okay, it's 100%. I don't want to keep it on the same subnet mask just for best practice. So we're going to go ahead and do config T interface gig 0-0-0. No IP address 192.168.10.2. Then 255.255.255. Okay, so it is to the 22 subnet mask. So I'm gonna go over here and go to, real quick, we're gonna go to calculator.com. Move my face over here. I'm gonna go ahead to calculator.com, calculator.net. They're gonna do subnet calculator. Okay, gonna go to 22 192.168.10.2. Calculate. Okay, so this is going to be the subnet mask that I'm going to put here in order to complete the command. 255.255.252.0. Okay? So then I'm going to do IP address. .255 here, .252. Okay? I'm gonna do that and assign it this. Pretty much put in the same neighborhood, although, I mean, theoretically they still could have pinged each other, but really what we want to do is keep the same subnet mask within the same network if we want the local devices to connect to each other directly. It's the best way to practice is keep that the same, within the same neighborhood, or subnet mask in this case. Individual addresses, just same subnet mask. So, gonna go end, and then we're gonna go ahead and ping, and see right there, 100%. So, same thing, and then we're gonna try here, and then do a ping to 192.168.10.2, and it should be right there, successful. Okay, so still we are going to show IP interface brief to see what's going on with gigabit 0-0-1, which should be connected to router 2. Okay, so show IP interface gig 0-0-0, no, 0-0-0-1, and we see it is okay. Wow. Okay, so it's 192.168.20.24. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is have all these be to the 30 subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.252. Okay, and just to verify that this was to the 30, it says right there, you see how it changed from 24 to 30. Previously it was 24, now it's 30, because that subnet mask put on the command line. So let's see here. So we already know that our gigabit 0-0-0 connection is established with router 0 from router 1. Now we want to establish this connection to router 2. So let's work on this now. Okay, so now I'm gonna go check out what's going on with router 2. So enable show IP interface brief. Okay, so we see that gigabit 0-0-0 is assigned to 192.168.20.2. Okay. So might have a couple issues here, and what I suspect is that the protocol is down. First, we're gonna do, well, it's not administratively, it is administratively down. So let's see if we bring it up. So IP interface, first of all, let's go to global config, config T, IP interface, gig 0-0-0, sorry, interface, gig 0-0-0, sorry. No shut, should bring it up. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, it's up. However, will router 0 still be able to ping router 3? Let's try it. So we're gonna ping 192.168.30.2. I suspect that it will be a no. And we'll see why here on router 2, because there is no route from router 2 to router 3. Hold on, let's make this smaller. So we only have one IP address assigned on the gigabit 0-0. So we're gonna assign on interface 0-0-1, gigabit 0-0-1. Then let's just do a 192.168.30.1. Well, first let's see what subnet mask we have on gig 0-0-0 on router 3. Show IP interface brief and show interface gig 0-0-0, and it is assigned IP address to the 24 subnet mask. So again, I want to use the -30, so I'm going to change that as well. So config T, just because there's no other, I mean, we could leave room for other hosts. Well, let's just do that, just in case, you know, they're assigned computers or servers or anything out to that router. So we're just going to keep that there. Yeah, I guess we'll just keep that there like that to the 24 subnet mask and see if that will fix it by just assigning that IP address of 192.168.30.1 to the gigabit interface 0-1. So we're going to keep actually that one to the 255 to the 24. So it'd be 255. This is what I mean. So IP address 192.168.30.1.255.255.255.0 because it was /24. So we're going to keep them, like I said before, in the same neighborhood. 168.30 and that 2. Okay, scroll that down. Okay, that's where we're at. Okay, then no shut, the best practice, and show IP interface brief, and there. Both our protocols are up. Now I can ping 192.168.30.1, and there. It's 100%, and this should work now. So now we're gonna ping that same 192.168.30.2, and we have established connection. So there we go. That's my video on basically IP addresses, subnet masking, and how to establish connections and troubleshoot.